it was really just a full breakdown, everything that you need to learn, basically the A to Z.
From where to start, exactly what to do, how to do it, all the systems and programs.
The resources and things that were given throughout the training was just phenomenal.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the Deal Desk episode. Man, what episode is this? This is 21. That's crazy. It's already been 21 episodes. So if this is your first time, welcome. The way this works is you can submit leads at the ritoolbox.com. This isn't pre-recorded. This is live. You will see the good, the bad, the ugly. And I bring on guests here that are respected in this industry and they're proven closers. That way we can have different styles, right? So if you're watching this on YouTube, it wouldn't be YouTube unless I said, click that like and subscribe button. This is completely free. Bring your team on here, share. I know people that have been watched this, apply different styles from the different guests and have had massive success. It's free content, doesn't cost anything to click and like that subscribe button. So today's guest, we have Lauren, okay? She's from Highest Cash Offer. She runs an acquisitions team. She is a killer closer, and she's really well respected in the industry. I'm looking forward to her showcasing her style. She has a very unique style. Let's bring her up. Lauren, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Great. Can you hear me okay? Audio's working okay and everything now?
Well, good. We got it worked out.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show. A lot of people actually wanted to see you on here, and I'm happy that we got a chance to get you on here. Can you kind of tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, how you started, what your background is, and, how did you get so good at this as well,
Sure. So I've probably, like I said in the bio, I've probably been in the wholesaling space since probably 2017, but I've been in real estate since just slightly after the market crash, so about 2011. I've been heavily involved in like all aspects of real estate, which I think is what makes me, dynamic on the phones. And so we were running a high volume flipping company back in 2011 when you could buy these properties super cheap, put minimal renovations into them, pop some tenants in, and then sell them, as like cash cows. So that's kind of how I got, my head wrapped around, all things real estate. And then diving into the wholesale space with Highest Cash Offer. I mean, we've got such niche marketing, so it allows us to really target our energy towards motivated sellers, and then have these types of conversations where we're teed up for success. So we're just rocking over here in Scottsdale. Phoenix market is hot. We love it. It's highly competitive. That helps to hone your skills and continue to train and have to compete at the highest level. So,
yeah, Arizona's definitely, one of those markets where there's a lot of competition. What do you do differently than most of your competition? How do you separate yourself from everybody else that is doing the same thing?
I think you can tell just as having conversation who really knows what they're talking about, who has the ability to kind of reflect on how things have changed. My style is to educate. My style is to basically humanize the script. We are all essentially, reading off of the same script. How do you connect with these people to be, a subject matter expert and help guide them in that direction, not trick them into that direction? That's the difference with, I think, my style is it's more, let's make the best decision. And if it's not me, cool, let's move on. No big deal. Let's not waste any time. I think that people have a sense of trust in what I'm saying. And I really try to connect with people on an emotional level so that they, can tap in and, consider all aspects before they sell. And then you have a higher conversion rate. They're not, a lower cancellation rate. And it helps your business. It helps your, the name, your basically your household name, Highest Cash Offer. So we've got good reviews for that reason.
I love that you said that you guide people. You don't trick people because you humanize the script, right? You want to talk to people just like people. And I feel like in this industry, just a lot of people try to be somebody that they're not. And especially when you're doing this stuff over the phone or in person. And I feel like people respect you when you're just yourself and you just talk to them like human, regardless of what they're going through. How do you, in your guys' business, how's it set up? Do you guys do stuff over the phone? You go in person? You do both? What difference between those two approaches, if any, do you have?
So there's, I'll be honest with you. I am not a cold caller. I don't dial the phones and make, initial contact. So we are at the point where we've scaled our company so that we have VAs who handle a lot of that upfront objection and a lot of the upfront, maybe deal killers and things like that. Now, for those who are calling and those who are, doing that initial contact, I mean, I guess it's niche marketing at the end of the day. So we have super, super high-end marketing. We've got direct mail leads. We've got radio leads. We do a little bit of texting because it just helps us, that's kind of cheap to sprinkle in. We've got some Egypt VAs and some Filipino VAs. So all of those people help to kind of kick up interest. And then once somebody is interested, it comes and funnels through to my desk where I call and I close it. So I do have a little bit of an advantage in that regard, but we are at the point where we have scaled our business where the time value of the time value is worth it for us,
So you guys are doing cold calling and SMS?
Cold calling, SMS, direct mail, radio, and we're soon to do TV.
What's your favorite one?
I think the hottest leads are anything inbound. So PPC is always really good. If somebody's opting into you, then you can have a easier conversation. They want to divulge all this information. They've sort of knocked at your door. And so I'd say direct mail is probably our highest revenue per lead, but PPC is a strong second, and radio also has proven this year to be fruitful. So telemarketing is always good because it's just, it's just to supplement the other inbound leads.
Exactly. Now, a PPC lead, a direct mail lead, a cold call lead, do you approach each lead differently depending where it came from? If so, how do you go about that?
Totally. I think with telemarketing, you got to get to the point. They've heard from everybody, and I think it's obviously a little bit tougher to be like, hey, you just spoke to my assistant. I'm calling you back. They're like, who? I've spoken to 1,000 people, so rapport can kind of be broken there. I noticed that's sometimes a little bit tricky. PPC is like, I take them in like they're my friend, just a warm hug. Like, let's get to the heart of the issue. I'm a professional, let's be totally transparent, all cards on the table. And I seem to really be able to tap into the honesty through, inbound leads. And I capitalize on that for sure. I come in more as a friend than a professional company. And a lot of these people in these, situations, they're embarrassed and they have an ego. And so you can just kind of relate to them on a human level and they really open up.
Yeah, that's something that's very common. In today's market, a lot of people, they don't have to be even in real estate to realize what's going on in the market. Do you notice any trend when you're talking to sellers, whether they want a higher price, some of them are very egoistic. How do you handle and overcome those objections? Oh, this estimate says this. Oh, the market's great right now. How do you handle people like that?
I'd say it's honestly asset specific, but I think that the difference between an educated seller versus somebody who's just popped their address into Zillow. I think at that point, if this person is truly price driven, then you have to focus on the value proposition through negotiation, right? So it's like, I am willing to provide you all of this value. Now you have to know what the issue really is in order to find what value you can bring to the table. And I think you really have to drive it home with, my style is to funnel people down into a decision. And I start with, all the things that they've done, all the support they have from their families and friends, all of the, the issues. And then you really have to paint the picture perfect. And in the end of the day, I think a smart, educated seller who knows the market is going to respect an educated and just equal conversation where I can say, look, I know I'm not providing you market value, but I am providing you this. That's the only way you're going to, rein that seller in my opinion. Zillow, to me, I like to use that objection as, look, Zillow is a suggested retail price once your property is renovated, because the only reason that value is going up is because the homes around you are being renovated and it's driving the market up. So let's talk about, what do you need to do to your house in order to sell it at this suggested retail value? Now what you can do is use that as your resale value, talk about the renovations, talk about the cost, and essentially get yourself into an acquisition price. And I think they understand that, their home isn't currently worth that. Now some don't, and that's fine. Move on,
Oh, that's great. A lot of people that nowadays refer to the Zillow, but Zillow doesn't know what the inside of your house looks like. Something that we use to say, hey, has Zillow been inside your house? It always be a no. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, there's something about that seems very used car salesman to me. And it's like, let's talk about the fact that my home doesn't say it's worth $1 million if it's really worth 500,000. So there is some relation to the value, but let's talk about what we need to do to get it to that price point. And then they kind of see it from that angle. Okay, that's fair. It's not worth that.
Awesome. And, what does the business look like today? Where do you guys see yourself in the future?
Well, highest cash offer. So I run the acquisition team. I do still, hit the phones, but mostly I'm also managing, other people in the office. We are shifting our focus from marketing ourselves as highest cash offer to our new company is called Click Offer Sold, because we do more than offer cash offers, and we kind of stuck ourselves essentially into that image. But Click Offer Sold is going to be 100% inbound. So we will be focusing our efforts towards marketing, a very expensive marketing, but only inbound. So at that point, we have maybe a higher conversion rate, a higher cost per lead, but also a much, much higher, revenue generated per lead. So that will be within the next year, I'd say. So we're going to be doing away with telemarketing. So yeah, things are going to be shifting over here, but everyone's doing the same marketing here in Arizona. So we have to get ahead of what is the least saturated form of marketing. And for that is, radio and inbound.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love
where
it.
Where can people get a hold of you, get to know you more, ask you questions?
Well, I would love for people to get to, to touch base with me. I don't offer any, educational, any educational classes or courses, but I am on Instagram, and I have a personal life, work balance sort of content. I try to keep it light and fun and not just all things real estate. So if you're into that, definitely reach out to me on Instagram, and it's at Lauren Crowell with 3 L's. And I also was asked by Tony Romero to speak at his Hustle Harder event coming up in August over in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if you are thinking about purchasing tickets, I think the event is going to be huge. You're trying to double it this year. So you can definitely see me on stage there.
Awesome. You ready to make some live calls?
I'm ready.
All right. Awesome. We are calling one over here. Let's see. Mr.
You were saying Frank, but that one I popped it in, and that one had sold too. I don't know. Do you want to start? What is this? 184 Inspira Williams. Oh, or Walter.
Yeah, go ahead. Start on Walter over there in Georgia.
Okay, let's take a look. All right.
right, so Walter, fair condition, was a rental for him. Reason for selling, tired of being a landlord.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
All right. That didn't work. Do you want me to
Didn't
check?
pick up?
Well, okay, you got it. Good.
Moving on to Mr. Williams.
I think the first name is Inspira. Is that how you would say that?
I've never seen that first name in my life.
Somebody
hope
trying to
maybe
be
that's the right
creative.
name.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's the first thing is you really cannot mess up the name of the first person, otherwise good luck.
Wow. She broke her hip, not able to keep up, and daughter is moving out.
Beautiful.
In New Jersey.
Hello.
Hi, Inspira. My name is Lauren. How you doing?
Okay, what are you calling about?
Good. You spoke to my assistant. I understand you're looking to sell the property on Ridgewood Drive. I guess
It's already sold. I have settlement on Tuesday.
you already sold. Well, hey, did you get a good price?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay.
That was going for.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, hey, when is the close of escrow? Just in case I noticed that it doesn't close, I'd love to just touch base with you.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, great. Well, have a great weekend.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
She sold her house.
One thing I want to say about that is I always ask if you do keep good follow-up notes, always ask about when it's supposed to close. The biggest deal I've ever done in real estate was a $139,000 wholesale deal that I called back because I noticed it didn't close on that day. So I just want to give that tip to everybody. Call them the next day and ask what happened. Chances are there's something going on. So I'll move on.
That's a great tip. Just because they said they sold it doesn't mean they actually sold it.
Exactly. You can come back a month later and they just didn't want to answer your call or talk to you that day and told you that. A lot of people say wrong number too, and it's not the wrong number.
Skip this person. I think they sold their house too. Some of
Okay.
these that are submitted are ones that we haven't been able to get a hold of from
Got it.
previous guests, and then the public resubmits them. So some of these have been hit, some haven't. The next one is Craig in New Jersey.
Okay. Do you want to, and so you'll be maybe one lead ahead of me, just making sure that it hasn't sold. Is that fine?
Yeah, I'll double check it.
Okay. So this is a zoned commercial mixed use. Sorry for the Outlook notification if you can hear that.
Okay.
His
New
father
Jersey.
doesn't want to keep up
Yeah,
with the
needed.
house. Okay. He wants 260. All right, let's take a look.
This has not sold.
Has not sold. Okay.
Try to put it a little bit closer to your mic,
Got it.
wherever that is on your computer. There we
Can you
go.
hear me better?
Yeah, much better. Thanks.
Hello.
Hey, Craig, how you doing? My name is Lauren. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. A couple weeks ago, you spoke to my assistant. You were considering selling your property on Main Street, and I just wanted to try to reach you one more time and see if that's still the case.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a couple notes here. I guess was it that your father wants you to sell it? Is that kind of the gist?
Yeah, basically that's it is getting too old to maintain the stuff. So I'm in the process of just picking the place up, get it ready to flip it over.
Okay. As far as who currently occupies it, and is it him or is it tenants?
No, there's a tenant that's in there. Their lease was up in April. We extended to I did it to the end of July, but I told them basically I would get them a storage unit if they were to get all their stuff out of the attic during July and August, so I can start doing renovation. They weren't using it's a bedroom that's up there with like this jacuzzi tub in the bathroom. They're not using that space. She's a little on the large side. She's actually living in her bed.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I can do all that. I was thinking of putting in a heat pump. So I put central air in, and I can do all that stuff while
Wow.
They're in the house. I mean, they're going to let me work in there, their electricity.
Yeah.
I'm still getting rent.
Well, there you go. Hey, then you don't have to hold on to it.
Our thought process, yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm actually trying to get stuff ready because we have the weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Can you give me a call? I have a closing on Tuesday on one of my properties in Pennsylvania. Wednesday or Thursday next week?
Yeah, and just one quick thing. Two things I just want to look at before I hang up with you so that when we talk again, I'm prepared. Close of escrow date, if we were to come to terms, would that be after August, or are you hoping to sell it?
Whenever you want. We're not time constrained.
Yeah, I'm just looking at pipelining, the properties I'm scheduled to close on. That's totally fine. 1 to 5 months is kind of normal. And then you had an asking price, or maybe your dad did, if I have it right, of $260. Is that because of the condition, or does it?
It's actually, I think we're up around 300. But come take a look and we can discuss that.
Okay. All right. As far as, do you have an offer currently at 300? I mean, I was running numbers at 260, thinking the house needed some work. I don't know if you're flexible on that.
Yeah. So there's flexibility on what's there, but so right now there's currently one tenant. It's like I do have to go, but
Sure.
It's their rent $1,600.
Okay.
There's 2 garages that we're in the process of now getting up and running, and then also we're looking at turning it an office space into the basement. So all said and done, you're looking at about a $600,000 property.
At a 700,000?
6, you might be able to get 7. I'm definitely confident on 6. I run conservative when I do my numbers.
Okay, great. Well, I think if you've got some flexibility, I'm just looking at obviously comps in the neighborhood, 260 to 275. I think and I could take the tenants over for the remainder of the time frame, and you wouldn't have to do that work. Is that something that you think would work for you?
Again,
obviously we get together and see the house.
Again, you're looking at a place. You're looking at single family houses. This is a commercial property.
No, I saw that. I definitely saw that.
And like next door went for 5 something. That's a 2-unit. That says the 2 garages. So the 2 garages alone, you can get another $1,600 because it's a commercial in the back garage. So it's a business garage that you could use to back there, a storage garage that's next to it, and then also an office. Okay.
And then in the case that you and I can kind of, firm up on a number, are you deciding everything for your dad, or is this a joint decision?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you know, but they're mostly relying on me on my input.
Okay. Then what I'll do is this, because I know you're running to a fun weekend. I will shoot you a text with my number. I think we've kind of talked a little bit about price point. We're obviously close. Are you guys thinking maybe next week we could schedule a meeting? Maybe make a deal happen? Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, give me a call like Wednesday, Thursday. I'm just jammed up till then.
Yeah. We've got
people waiting for me outside.
You got a boat and probably some beers waiting for you. So I hope you have a really nice weekend, and I will. I'll get you that over my information right now.
All right.
Okay. Thanks. Bye bye.
Man, that seems like I'm looking at the comps. Neighbor sold for $515. There's even one sold for $690. He's asking what, 300?
I think he's definitely flexible. I mean, we started 260. He says 300. Obviously he's getting less rent than he should. Obviously there's, if we can add the value of closing with the tenants and not having to have him wait till August, I think we can lock this thing up to 275 with all the value, you know what I mean? The value prop with that. Because otherwise, he's going to have to deal with them. Like he said, there's repairs that need to happen. Yeah, that's a deal for sure.
And he said he had to go, but you kept him on the phone. You got more information out of him. And then you said something at the end about beers or something. What was that?
Just a little rapport, a little thing at the end. He's getting ready to go away for the weekend. Cool. Let's, go crack a beer, celebrate, whatever. You know what I mean? Something where he's like, cool. She's fun.
How do you, before we go on this next call, a lot of people, ask, at what point should I build rapport? How do you connect with people, and how do you figure out when to talk about something that gives you that open door to talk about it?
I think, first of all, you'll know in the demeanor with the seller who's like looking to have a laugh. But my number one rapport builder, if I have any information from an assistant, is to immediately throw out facts or terms that they have said so that they can identify that this conversation happened before and you're not just a cold caller. I like to say, I've been trying to get in touch with you, just wanted to try to reach out one more time, something where they know this is a follow-up. And I think that can get you just a little bit further in the door than let's talk about the condition of the property. Look, the condition doesn't matter. Let's immediately get into, again, funneling down into what have you done? Why haven't you done it? And then you know what I mean? That's the most important thing.
Good point. So then this next one looks like it's a piece of land. The person didn't submit the address, but they said it's right next to, I'm not going to say the address. I'm going to see if I could pull this up here.
Okay.
Do you see the notes, the address they put on there? It's actually on the left side, I believe. Let me just double check. It's 1 acre.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, you did.
So if you pull it up, you see the address. It's on the right, on the left side.
Okay.
Miss Broes, whatever, owns that.
Okay, so I see 122 Fawnwood Court, and you're saying it's the one to the right?
The one to the left.
Excuse me, one to the left. You did say that.
She's asking $15,000. It's about 1 acre. Reason for selling: she buys and sells properties.
Perfect. Is it 105 Cardinal Court? Is that the one you have, or?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have the address here. It's just, if you look at the submission sheet where it says property address, she said it's in Pennsylvania. Land does not have a lot number. It's next to blank Fawnwood Court.
Okay.
If you pull that up on PropStream or Zillow, it's the one right next to it on the left.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna start. See if I can run some comps on it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'm just gonna call her. I hate to
go ahead. I'll run the comp.
Underwriting deals because sometimes they don't even answer. You just wasted your time.
She's asking $15,000 for this. Wow.
Is that a deal?
Maybe. I gotta dig in, but I'll dig in while you call. She may not even answer. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we gotta be at like let me see here. I don't think we can do 15,000. Yeah, we gotta be at like 1 to 5,000.
Okay.
Investors are buying around 10,000.
Hello?
Hi, Karina. How you doing? This is Lauren. I'm following up with you about your land that you're selling over in Hawley.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry if I caught you off guard. No, I'm doing well. You're probably getting ready for the weekend. I don't want to keep you. I just understood you're looking to maybe sell the land on Fairwood. Or excuse me, Fawnwood.
Okay, yes.
Okay. As far as the property itself, I'm glad I got in contact with you. I just wanted to understand what you think the highest and best use of that land is. I'm obviously interested. I just want to see what from another investor, what would you do with the land?
The land is only residential. Thank you very much.
Okay.
The land is only residential. It's in a community.
Okay. So probably just build one house on it.
Correct. That's it.
Okay. It's got an HOA. I see, right? So
yes.
Okay. So there's someone governing it. And then, when it comes to land, utilities have a lot to do with, obviously with entry price point. Do you know if there is, water and utilities at the lot line?
No, that has to be all put in. It needs a well, it needs a septic, and electricity is at the curb.
Okay. Wow. Are you thinking about doing that yourself, or you just?
No, I'm not thinking about doing ourselves.
Okay. You just obviously want to flip it for a little profit, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't take a look at what you bought it for, but I do see here that you are looking for a price point of 15,000. Do you currently have that offer on the table at this
No,
point?
it's listed at 19.9.
It's listed at 19.9. That didn't show up
Yeah.
on my end. Okay. Any activity on the market?
Well, it's here and there. I mean, it's a land, so it always takes longer to sell.
Okay, so what I would be interested in, because I'll be honest, if it needs utilities and it needs septic, I couldn't do it. But what I could pivot this into is, are you open to seller financing it for me before you answer
I do,
that?
but I would need a minimum down payment probably of at least $5,000.
Okay, and then
Wait, Amelia. Yeah. Go
okay,
ahead, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. Okay, so $5,000 down, and then how long would you be willing to carry that note?
Maybe for 3 years, the max. 3 years, maybe 4, that's the max.
Okay.
I don't do anything like 10, 15, 20, 30 years like a conventional mortgage.
Well, right. Yeah, no, that's fine. As far as a payment, I'm just, obviously what I want to do is I want to get it through, getting the undergrounds and everything ready so that the land can be built on. So, 3 years is probably fine. As far as a payment, I'd have to be competitive with or comparable with what a loan would be on it. I mean, would $350 a month work for you on a payment?
I would have to calculate how much it's going to be. So we have 19.9 minus down payment. I have to calculate how much the monthly payment would equal to. And I'm not at home right now, so I'm not able to use a calculator right now.
Okay.
So I would have to do that.
My thought is this: if I couldn't pay more than 15 all in, to be honest. I know you've got it listed, but what I could do is I could do a principal and interest payment. So $350, take half of that each month towards interest and half of that towards principal, so that by the end of 3 years, I'm actually paying you closer to 19, and then a balloon payment at the end.
Okay, when no down payment?
I'll do $5,000 down payment, $350 a month, split in half, principal interest, balloon payment at the end of 3 years, with a total purchase price of 15, and then whatever the interest equals out in the end. Does that sound good? I mean, it gets you the land sold quicker. It allows me to pay closer to retail because I think you and I both know if it needs all that, it's going to be hard to come out of pocket on. So
yeah, it is true, but I had a lender actually with septic and well, and I sold that for 40 grand. So I know how much land with septic and well goes as well.
Yeah.
I had it in that community, and I sold it for $40,000. So here I'm selling for 20, and then you have to put in septic, and well in.
yeah, no, I think if the land is buildable, the value of it is significantly higher.
It's buildable because I've done perk tests and everything. I spent a lot of money on soil engineers and all that stuff.
Good. Okay, great. Well, I think I think the great part about if you do the seller finance is, you're not going to have to turn around and pay short-term capital gains. So I think, it'll help you from a tax benefit.
Is it a land for yourself or?
It's for my uncle. So
Okay.
I'm just trying to help him. I'm in the industry. He's looking to build. I just, I know a little bit more about it, and I know that you obviously flip land. So you're an investor yourself. I like being able to have that kind of face-to-face conversation, or, apples to apples. So if I put that offer in front of you in writing, do you want to give me your email address, and is that something you think you could entertain?
You can give me email address. I can give you my email. When I finish, is this your cell phone?
Yeah, you can text it here.
Okay, I can text you. Send me what your offer is. I'll discuss it with my partner, look at the numbers when I get home later on today.
Cool.
And then we can go from there.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it'll be a great decision for you guys. I appreciate your time, and have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow. So you mix it up. You made something out of nothing.
Well, I don't know if that's a deal, but I just wanted to showcase turning it into a seller finance, because now it makes it a little bit more affordable.
Yeah. So how do you know, this lady seemed like she was pretty savvy. She didn't really ask too much about it. At what point did you figure out, well, I mean, do you always do that with leads? Like, hey, maybe this cash offer may not work, but I'm always going to offer the credit financing option as well.
I think if you are spending even $1 on your lead and you don't suggest 3 ways to convert it, you are throwing money in the trash. You better suggest a cash offer, and if that doesn't work, you better suggest listing it or a novation deal or a seller finance deal. And then in the end, it's like, look, we talked about 3 or 4 ways to sell. Maybe you just don't want to sell, and that's okay. They either say yes or they say no. And then if they say anything other than F off, you start the conversation over again and see if you can kind of work through maybe an issue they didn't bring up. No, I want to sell because, I really have a house I need to buy. Now you're getting back into motivation. And I think that it's the best way to squeeze all the juice out of what you've paid for your lead. So
this next house looks almost as beautiful as that last conversation you just had. So maybe you could do something with this. Over here on Lakeside Road. Look at this beauty.
She already texted me her email too. So I think obviously there's some interest, which is good. Lakeside Road.
They're asking $20,000. Needs a full rehab. They do not need the house and cannot afford to renovate. Sounds like a motivated person.
Yeah. Okay. So this is New York. Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm just trying to pull it up on Zillow. Okay. They want $20K. So I'll be honest. I'm on Zillow. I'm not on PropStream. So if it were my market, one thing I would be doing is I would be pointing out actual comps, price anchoring with those types of, I like to talk about comps with people. So for anybody listening, this one doesn't have a Zillow estimate. So, it's hard to go off of 70% of Zillow.
Yeah. What do you do with leads like this?
Well, I don't have leads in any other market than the 2 we're in, which, we have a little bit. We're in we're in Vegas and Arizona. And I have realtor access in both of those states. So let's just call.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. And then we can answer her. There's a girl, Amira, asked what a balloon payment is. Do you want to wait to the end?
Sure.
Or you want to answer that now?
You own the floor right now. Whatever you want to do.
So, Amira, basically what that means is it is the date of which you have to pay off the remaining balance of whatever note you have. So in this case, it was a $15,000 note with $5,000 down. So the balance of whatever is owed on that principal mortgage is what has to be paid in full on that date, and they call that a balloon payment. So by the end of year 3, it has to be paid off. All right, I'm going to call this person.
Running some comps on this New York one.
Thank you.
There's one that sold in rough shape, but better shape, for $74,500. It's a big house, though. It's going to cost a lot of money to fix.
So you're saying the comp at 70 something that was in similar condition or renovated?
No, this was in similar condition. It's probably a little bit better, but some of the rooms don't have any walls, so.
All right.
I don't know how rough this one is. It looks rough on the outside.
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
Bummer. I'm going to try to redial just in case she's on the phone.
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
All right. We'll move on to the next one.
This is why you don't spend too much time comping it before you get them on the phone.
Exactly. Next one is in Wilson, North Carolina. It's vacant land. Vacant land. They're asking 63.5. He's looking for. Interesting. He's looking to sell for 63,500 outright or open a JV to commercialize a property since it's on the freeway.
It's an interesting asking price. I will probably if there's an offer on the table at 63. You know what I mean? It sounds like he just slightly wants to beat it. I don't know. Inferring, but
you guys can keep the questions coming. We'll get to Q&A shortly for Lauren. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat.
okay.
63,500, and he put in parentheses negotiable.
Yeah, I like that. I'm dialing. Are you gonna comp it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Show their cards right off the bat. Negotiable.
Hello. Thank you so much for calling. No one is able to take your call at this time.
Okay. So
it's funny. I thought he answered the phone, but he's asking way too high. He actually had this listed previously for 70,000.
yep.
Sat on the market for 109 days. Probably not. Probably not the nicest deal.
Yeah. And that's one thing I do like to look at is like, okay, what information, because, how can I immediately, again, relate or show that I've done some sort of research? I immediately go to listing history and try to find, something that I can dive into. And I saw the same thing. So
Moving to the next one.
Yep. He also listed that right in the middle of COVID. So I wonder if that's
How did you guys do during COVID? Did you guys change anything?
Oh, I will not be insensitive by saying that people didn't go through real things. They really did. It was probably the largest year by double that we've ever had. But we doubled down. We either said we're going to lose or we're going to do well. I think what ended up happening is like, we try to take down as much as we can. We don't try to wholesale everything. Obviously, if it's an asset we want to hold on to. So we just couldn't stomach some of these wholesale offers that we were getting on these houses. We're like, so we just ended up buying them and flipping them. Yeah. How'd you do?
It was interesting. We did stuff. We got a mix. So what we found is typically elderly people would be a little bit more cautious. Some people didn't care. Some people, we just want to tailor, whatever they prefer, whatever method of signing a contract or their motivation. We had actually some people that wanted to kind of hold back as well. But some people just, move forward. It didn't really slow us down too much, actually.
Yeah, I think that, when we say, oh, we can close in a week, the second then I think suggest a time, you have no idea if that's going to freak someone out or if that's, I never assume, and I think when it came to COVID, we could kind of say, well, how would you like to do this? Let's talk about some things over the phone due to COVID. So we don't get face to face until the time is right. Now that allowed you to kind of talk to them and get all this stuff out and then say, do you want to meet? Yes or no, and kind of put the ball in their court. It allowed doing deals virtually to be a lot easier. So
great advice. All right, let's make a few more calls and then we'll get into some Q&A. So this one on Brady Street, it says here they're asking $25,000, has water damage inside the property. The basement was flooded, needs paint, floor needs work, 4 windows need to be replaced, blah, blah, blah. Vacant. Reason for selling, brother used to live in the property, passed away, wants to sell ASAP to give money to brother's kids. Wow. Oh,
wow, you don't find water damage death and financial situation all in one lead. So if I can't do something with this, if he answers, I'm quitting my job. I'm just kidding. All right. It's listed currently for $39,000, sitting there. Price cut 900. Okay. Been listed for 8 days. I wonder if this lead came in before they listed it. So another thing you could do here is seller finance, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, look, they said they're now the price cut a few days ago. It's been on for what? Oh, 8 days.
yeah, 8 days.
Interesting. What do you do with people like this? If they have their property listed, whether it's on Zillow or with an agent, how do you approach those people?
Well, they've already spoken to our assistant, obviously. So what I would probably say is, it might not be appropriate for you and I to have this conversation. I don't know. Do you want me to direct this to your agent? A lot of times they'll say, no, I can talk to you about it. If you want to put an offer in, contact my agent. I just never assume that they have hired somebody that is not a cousin, a brother, a family member, because we all know somebody who's an agent. So I would not assume it has to go through an agent. I would never undercut an agent, but I would never assume that it has to go through them. So I would probably talk about, what the money could help to do for the family right now. Since the house is sitting, kind of talk about a cash offer, which just gets them out, in which case we could come in 70%,
Okay. You want to try and have one more conversation?
Yeah,
and then we'll get into Q&A?
Cool.
This next one is in Somerset, New Jersey.
Wait, don't call them.
Oh, right? No, you can. No, if you want to, go ahead. Yeah.
This message in error. Please hang up and try your call again.
Disconnected number. Okay. All right.
Move on to the next one.
Cool.
Somerset, New Jersey. Asking 1.2 million. Excellent condition. Let me pull this up.
All right. $1 million house. Now we're talking to different clientele. Especially because Zillow estimates 756. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So what do you do with people like this? They're just, they may be sarcastic. I don't know some of this lead, but if the Zillow says 756 and they're asking 1.2 million, is like, do you look at that before you give them a call? Do you continue conversation with them? Do you reach out? What do you do with those people?
Yeah, I probably would. Well, obviously, let's just put it out there. Are you actually interested? I mean, and then kind of dive into, I didn't want to not call, even if we're worlds apart, because my assistant could have gotten it wrong. I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell me what you're really looking for, since I don't see a home in the $1 million price point, anywhere near it. And then I would immediately try to convert it to a listing. And if that doesn't work, then try to funnel them back into a cash price, because I want to try to find common ground with them first and say, look, let's get you 1.2. Let's list this baby, and we'll get whatever we can get. Well, no, I don't need that. I have an agent. All right, well, let's talk about what a non-agent price point would be and see if they're open to it. And again, I am not afraid to cut bait with people who are not my sellers. So there's no love lost on my part if it doesn't work out.
Good point. You try to capitalize on any lead if they want to sell, as long as they're serious and you don't like leaving money on the table, right?
Exactly. Okay.
That's all the information. They're just asking 1.2, no other information. This will be the last one we try calling, and then we'll move on to Q&A. So you guys have any questions for Lauren, please drop them in the chat.
0, 1, 4,
Oh.
4, 6.
Disconnected.
One more. Let's just dive one more. Let's
You gonna
give it a
call
go.
another one?
Yeah, I'll just try one more since that guy
Georgia.
didn't answer. You want me to do Douglasville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Need some work. That's all it says.
Okay. Dialing.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail.
Well, let me try. What do you think?
You want to get one more convo in? You're
Sure.
more than welcome to.
Let's do it.
All right, call the next one. It's actually also in Georgia, Lawrenceville.
6, 7, 8. Okay.
This person asking
Wants
price.
them.
It said market value.
Shocker. Mr. Abu.
Six, 7, 8.
All right, I'm just gonna go.
You want to keep going until you get somebody, you're more than welcome to. I don't
Sure.
know what kind of time crunch you're on, if any. But there's one in Louisville, Kentucky over here.
Yeah, let me try that one.
Asking 95. Excellent condition. Tired of getting a bunch of calls. Wants a hard offer.
Cool.
Hmm.
So what I would probably do in this situation is I would, I'd have an idea of price point going in, and sometimes you just have to fire off something. I probably wouldn't lead with price, but I'd at least have something in the back of my head. Zillow estimate 137. Pop this in really quick. 4-bed, 3-bath, 1426. Okay. Let's see.
$137.
3. I see a 180 sold in April. Do you see that one? On Dearborn.
What's up?
New floors, but nothing special. And I see a as is 118. And then renovated back in January at 165. So I'd probably roll with the 180 unless you see something different.
No, I think he could be negotiated.
100%. I'm using 180 as ARV, sorry. All right. Let's take a look. So if 180 is ARV, we're doing 70% of it. 126 So it comes down to condition on do we think that the renovation could be done. I don't know what costs are in this area or labor or anything, but we've got 31 grand to work with on his asking price. So I'll probably come in if it's in good condition, I'll probably come in maybe 88. I don't know. Just
Says it's
something.
excellent condition, just like
Excellent.
everybody.
Yeah.
House needs little to no work.
Okay. Yeah, and then you get in there and it's burned. Or something
Yeah.
too. Or the property I bought yesterday and got in and there's dog blood everywhere. Okay.
Katrina says this has been gold to watch. Thank you.
Oh,
love
you're
you.
so welcome. Thank you. I hope so. I hope this guy answers.
Hello.
Dimitri, how you doing?
All right. How you doing?
I'm good. My assistant called you about the property. I understand you're looking to sell and kind of tired of answering all these calls about it, but I called you to give you an offer on it if it's still something you're looking to sell.
Okay. What's the offer?
Cool. You said the property was in excellent condition, and so should I assume that there's no renovations needed? I mean, I have to be honest, I hear that often. I wanted to hear it from your mouth.
That's true.
It's true? Okay, so you live in it, right, then?
Yes.
Okay. And so a couple things with when it comes to that, I just want to ask you, not just pricing that's important, I guess it's also terms. And I didn't know if you'd thought about where you'd go even after you sold. You know, some people are just fishing for price, some are actually interested. I wanted to see what, really where you're at.
I just want her to offer.
Okay. You're looking for somewhere around 90 is what I was told. Right?
120.
120?
Yeah.
How do you figure? I'm at about. I mean, I thought I was close, but I was around 87. Where's 120 coming from? Just curious.
That's what I want.
Okay, so this note about 90, did she just have it wrong, or was that a while ago?
What she wanted to write, I guess. I don't know where 90 came from.
Okay. Are you? I guess if it's in excellent condition and you could get that price point, what if I popped it on the market for you and got it sold that way? I mean, I'm interested in the cash offer. That's what I called about, but I don't know.
It is a cash offer. The price is more than that, and it's worth more than that. And I'm not even selling. She called me. I don't have a for sale sign on it.
Yeah, no, that I know. But you answered and went through some questions, so I figured there was some interest.
No, there's no interest. You do it or you don't. It don't matter.
Okay, well, obviously I want to buy a house if you want to sell it, and if it comes down to price, I think we might be a little far apart. But if you were to sell, I mean, let's say I could do 120, even hypothetically speaking. What's the next step for you there?
Close.
Right. But I mean, when? How?
As soon as possible. And how? I don't understand what how means. What do you mean how? How you bring the money, the check, the cash, the check, and we sit down at a real line. You do a title search and we close. I don't know what else it is to do.
Well, right. I just want to make sure, the property would be vacant, that we'd be able to do a walkthrough. I mean, there's a process to this. Obviously, we're talking about buying a house.
Yeah, and you call me, so you know the process just like I know the process. So we would go through the process and we would do it. But I don't understand the continuous questions.
Okay.
You guys called me.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you got my number. There's no for sale sign. Nothing's for sale.
Yeah. No, I know. I
picked the right price.
I get a bunch of calls in my own home.
You know how the world. Yeah, I know it exactly. I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay, let's do this. I think we're too far apart. If you're open to keeping the conversation open, if I, for whatever reason, I can do 120, I'll give you a call back. I just think it's might be something we can't make work today. So hope you have a really great weekend.
You too, baby.
Okay, thanks. Not much you can do with that.
Got straight to the point on that one.
Yeah. Which we expected. I expected him to be a little bit aggressive. In my opinion, I don't think the guy's serious about selling. And that just, it comes down to that.
All right. You ready to answer some questions?
Yeah. All right. The balloon payment. Well, I think we touched on that a little bit. Was there any other? Oh, wait, how do you write up balloon payment?
All right. Cool. She did answer. Yeah, Orlando. How do you write up balloon payments on an agreement?
So basically, you would write. You're writing a note, and so the note is. It identifies the down payment. It identifies the terms of the note, how you pay. In our agreements, we always have performance-based clauses. So if we don't pay, then what? And at the end of it, it's the loan term. And anytime that a loan expires, it is suggested that it balloons. So you wouldn't have to write up a balloon payment. You would just write up the note and the terms. And then you would record it as a deed of trust on the property in first position. Now that basically a seller wants to know that it's, the loan is protected essentially. And if you were to go sell it, that their loan would be paid off first. You don't have to keep the loan the entire time. Even if it is a 3-year loan, you can and should have verbiage in there that doesn't have a prepayment penalty. And so basically that just comes down to your the loan paperwork, how you want to structure it. I hope that answers that. Do you have anything to add?
Can you hear me okay? I feel like I'm going slow motion.
You are.
I'm like freezing up. Sorry.
That's fine. Did you hear me though? Did that come through okay?
All right. What did you ask me?
Oh, I was just saying, did that answer come through okay, even if you were freezing? Hey, Orlando, do you mind popping in the comments if you could hear me on that?
I can hear you just fine. It's just super.
Okay.
The visual is a little bit behind the audio, but that short or long. Yeah, we're having tech issues here. Sorry. If you can hear me, Herlana Arroyo asks, do you prefer short or long payments on creative finance?
I think that if you can negotiate a loan that has no balloon, then that's ideal. Obviously, we never know where the market is going to go. And so to answer your question, depending on your price point, you want to have as long of a term as possible, because should the market for whatever reason go belly up, you've got time on your side. Now, if you have that conversation with your seller and let's say they're adamant about a 3-year loan payment, if the market goes belly up and you can't cover the note, you're essentially short selling, and so they're going to be willing to work with you. But I think at least 7 years would be my answer. Now, that was only a $15,000 note. I don't think you'd have a problem once you do the work that was needed to that land to get it to appraise for more. So I think your investment would be covered.
All right, perfect. How do these contracts/agreements protect you from being sued?
Well, I guess which contracts and agreements are we talking when we purchase, or if we are doing like a seller finance, like a deed of trust? What do you think he means?
you know, when you're drafting up, so it protects you and them. But you know, it's like when homeowners ask me, like, "Oh, is this once I sign this, is this going to be sold?" Right? You know, if you get a purchase agreement in place, it doesn't mean like it's sold on the spot. It has still to go through title. There's still a due diligence period. It gives you equitable interest. You know, it is a legal binding agreement. So by contracts.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so
you know,
I don't see any other questions. Can you hear me okay? It's like super frozen over here.
Yeah, you're frozen. I can hear you. The only thing I wanted to say about that last part was the contracts, especially when it comes to seller finance, you know, you need to have the performance-based clause, and I think that will show, hey, look, you know, I'm going to put this down payment down. I'm going to renovate the property, and if I should miss a payment for whatever reason, you know, after whatever period, would then consider it late, I now have to deed the property back to you. That would be just asinine for me to miss a payment. I will put this through a loan servicer, so they will pay your loan on time every single month. I mean, those are ways that I think that you can protect yourself from I don't know, being sued or an ambiguous if-then situation.
Awesome. All right, Lauren, I think that sums it up for today. It was a great show.
Awesome.
You really showcased your style. Is there anything you want to tell the audience, leave people off with?
No, I just appreciate you guys tuning in and, you know, asking questions. Again, if you want to connect with me on Instagram, you want me to be a resource, you want to sell a property, you need help with contracts, you need all that stuff, you know, contact me. I will put my Instagram in the chat, but it is at Lauren Crowell with 3 L's. You can find me under Stephen's followers too, so if you have some issues there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you give Lauren a follow. Click that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.